Happy New Year. It's officially 2023, which feels like we're living in the future. I almost can't believe that that's actually the year that we're living in right now. But regardless, that means it's time to get our heads in the game and start working towards our goals for our business. I feel like depending on how 2022 went for you and kind of where you are in your business right now, that's either exciting or terrifying. As an online business, there's a million different ways that you can take your business as well, whether it's from the marketing of it or what products and what services you offer. You could go down the route of TikTok, email, YouTube, Facebook, product launches, challenges. Like, I can keep going. If you are feeling a little bit of overwhelm included in your excitement, it's okay. I have a few tips to help with kind of prepping for your 2023 in your online business. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently. Being 2023, I wanted to try something new myself. And I want to film these talking head videos a little bit more vlog style. Like, this feels more comfortable to me. We're having a chat. I'm not lecturing you about anything. I'm going to take you through just like the rest of my day. We're going to go and make a cup of tea and go about our working day. And I'll drop in with you as and when I can. So I'm doing a filming day today. So I'm just going to finish my makeup. I realized when I was filming the last clip, I didn't have any lipstick on. So I'm just going to do that really quickly. But my first piece of advice to you is to start blocking out everyone and all of their advice and well-meaning opinions. Ignore it. They're talking absolute shit. I work as a coach for businesses, right? Online business owners. And usually when I'm having these conversations with people and they're overwhelmed and not sure what to do, 9 times out of 10, part of that is because of other people. Maybe a mentor or a guru that they follow that they really respect and they take their opinion on board. Or friends, family, like genuinely people with well-meaning advice that probably would work for someone but doesn't necessarily work for that person. And that's the issue with stuff like this. Like, even my advice that I give you is generalized. So it might not work for you as an individual, especially when online businesses can go in a million different directions. So how you're doing something might be really different. And aside from the fact that like everyone's an expert these days, everyone seems to know the way you should do it, and it's nonsense. The most powerful thing that you can do in 2023 if you feel overwhelmed is to learn how to tune out the noise of other people. It turns out it's way harder to put lip liner on and talk than I realised. It's like it's my mouth or something. But in all seriousness, recognise if this sounds like it's hitting home to you and you are someone who struggles with the opinions of others, then stop watching content that tells you what to do. Stop watching TikTokers who have their absolute #1 video being like the 3 ways to become a millionaire. You must do this, this, and this. No, you don't. You can do whatever you want. You don't even have to be a millionaire if you don't want to be one. Everyone is pushing for things that just might not fit with you. Put boundaries in with your family and friends. You don't have to just listen to them give you advice, especially if there's somebody who doesn't run their own business. It can be well-meaning, but it can be misplaced. And they can give advice from their perspective in a corporate job or working for public sector, and they'll never really truly be able to understand how you do what you do. So tell them, hey, really appreciate that you're looking out for me, but I actually would prefer it if you didn't try and give me advice on what to do when it comes to my business. I just need someone to listen. And maybe down the line, when you start to get a better understanding of what you truly want, that can change. But if you're struggling with this now, put that boundary in place. And like I said in the intro, there's a million different ways that you can build your business and do what you want to do. The only truly right way is the way that fits for what you want to do and how you want to be in 5 years' time, 10 years' time. Especially if the advice is coming from people who you don't want your business to look like that, then don't listen to it. It's not relevant for you. Okay, that's a bit better. Now I'm going to go and get a cup of tea, which is going to ruin the lip gloss I just did. Maybe I should have done this the other way around. The next bit of advice I've got for you for how to get over this overwhelm of 2023 is to get planning. If you're stressed, it's probably a bit of a fear of the unknown. If you're wondering what you should be doing right now, it's probably because you don't have a plan or a strategy. And figuring out exactly what you're going to do will help you exponentially when it comes to growing your business. But I do say that knowing that there's a catch-22. Sorry if you can hear the kettle boiling in the background, there's not really a lot I can do about that. For context, this catch-22 with planning. I am somebody who loves to plan. I love a list. You'll catch me, I've got like a digital diary. I also have a paper to-do list. My Google Calendar, that all my meetings are in. Like, I like being, I don't know, maybe type A would be the best way to describe it. I like being a little bit type A and loves a list. But I can often kind of get overwhelmed if I plan too far in advance, because I will build out a step-by-step map of everything I need to do for the next year to hit all the goals that I want to hit. But I can't right now take into consideration any curveballs that might come up the rest of this year, any changes in direction, any changes in the economy that might mean that I need to do something differently. And ultimately, that plan ends up becoming almost like a cage of what I can and cannot do. And not only that, I end up not being able to fulfill it and being really overwhelmed by the concept of like, oh, I have stuff to do that I haven't finished. I have to keep going. So I end up getting backlogged, and this plan that was supposed to make my life easier goes from being this like really helpful, clear path to something that now stresses me out. So personally, I have to plan quarterly. I can't look further ahead than March right now, because I quite literally don't know which country we're going to be in by March. It gives me enough of a forward look to be able to make sure that I'm working towards my goals and I'm not kind of just living in the day-to-day of my business, but it's not so far in advance that if something came up, I couldn't rejig or change it or do things earlier. And it usually means that then I never get in a situation where I fall behind and get stressed. I used to think planning quarterly was like not far enough. And then I heard of this book that's called The 12-Week Year. I'll pop a link to it in the description below because it is worth a read. If you're interested in more specifics on the kind of how to plan for 12 weeks and how to make and structure out something quarterly instead of typically New Year's resolutions you look forward for the year, that book is a must read. Okay, kettle's boiled. Sitting in front of the fire and making tea is quite literally the polar opposite of what Bali was. But just wait until you see where we're going next. That is even more polar opposite.
Now back into the living room.
Oh, there's something really difficult about carrying tea on camera. I think because I'm looking at the tea on the camera, not in real life. But yeah, for the last tip, I talked about how it can be really easy to get overwhelmed with planning for the full year because you can get caught behind really easily. Well, to try and avoid getting caught behind, book time in, like book the appropriate time that you actually will need. Look at your diary and carve out some time to keep clear that you can't take meetings in, you can't get stuck doing your to-do list in. They are specifically for working towards the future of your business, for working towards your goals that you want to hit. And honestly, with this, I'll say the same thing I say about social media. Pick what you can commit to. If it's an hour a week is the most you can give, fine, but stick to that. If you can do an hour a day or even just a full day of a week, brilliant. Figure out what works for you, but you've got to commit to sticking to it. Treat this like a complete caged out section in your diary that no one else can steal that time from you. After all, you want to treat the future of your business just as importantly as the day-to-day, right? And you've probably heard of time blocking. You can use this kind of principle to make it easier. Next, get strategizing. A goal, a dream is nothing without strategies behind it to put it into place. If you write down, I want 100,000 followers and 10K months, unless you have something that you are putting in place so that you can get there, just saying you want those arbitrary numbers means nothing. You have to have the strategy in place to be able to actually do it, or you'll just be really disappointed and downhearted and be like, oh, I'm shit at everything I do. I can't even hit this goal. And it sounds dramatic, but genuinely people do get like really, really stuck in a rut when they just put numbers down or goals down with no backup. Personally, I believe every business should have at least 3 strategies. One for marketing, one for sales, and one for growth. So your marketing strategy is primarily going to focus around things like brand awareness, generating leads, generating people who know and are interested in your business. Sales is going to focus on closing them, turning them into customers. And your growth strategy is going to be a little bit more about your business itself. Not so much about customers, it's going to be about what's happening behind the scenes in your business. Building structures, things like that as you grow. And if you're interested in some support with this, I actually have something really exciting coming. So myself and the team have been developing a strategy course. We have tested it on a small group of people, and we are now developing it to a standalone course that's going to be coming really soon that will help you to develop your marketing strategy for your business. So if you're interested in finding out more and you want to know all the details about what it is, we're launching it soon. So I have a link in the description for you to sign up, and you'll be the first to find out about it when it does launch. You'll get some special offers when it does initially launch and that sort of thing as well. And my final tip, my 5th tip, is to address all the elements of your business. When we're setting goals, I feel like we usually either look for financial goals or marketing goals. We're like, I want a 10K month, I want 10K followers. So often, if you look at your list of goals, it'll be really lopsided towards certain sides of your business. And important things like ops and admin and systems won't be included. But when you're not looking at your business as a fully rounded thing, then it's not going to grow like one. It's going to grow lopsided too. You'll end up stressed and overwhelmed in a different way with a backlog of trying to catch up other elements of your business to match your kind of financial goals like 10K months and getting in these new customers. And the thing is, your business could be successful and thriving, but be struggling in the basics. And I'm going to hold my hands up and say, this was a bit of a lesson learned for me. I built my business as a side hustle. And when I eventually went from kind of working for other people to full-time working for myself, it grew really quickly. I went from the January of when I went full-time with my business, making $2,000 at most, to doing 10K plus months, having a team of 5 just a year later. And I had been really focused around, I wanted to increase the numbers that we were doing. I had some of these flashy goals, and quite quickly it was like, oh shit, there's some hiccups here. There are some like fundamental business structure, business systems, things that we need to work on. Like, I didn't have a setup that was for a team. My setup was for what worked when it was just me, and that didn't convert over. And if I didn't get it sorted quickly, my team wouldn't be functioning properly, and eventually my customers wouldn't have been happy. So maybe save a couple of lines on your goal sheet for things like automating systems, for things like creating SOPs, standard operating procedures, so that when you do grow, you have those things in place and they're ready to go, unlike me. But I cannot wait to see what you all do with this year ahead. And if you want to see a little bit more of the day-to-day of what we get up to behind the scenes in the business, what I do as a newly fledged digital nomad traveling with my business, don't forget to go and follow me over on Instagram. My account is at BethanyWright, and the agency account is at _reddigital. And on both of these accounts, there are stories and updates all the time, so please do make sure to go and give them a follow. I never really plug my Instagram, so if I'm saying this, you have to do it. But on that note, Happy New Year, everyone. And please leave me your business resolutions in the comments below, because I would love to see what your big plans are for 2023.